Chapter 1. Stop leaking time. Identify your hidden losses ****. If you want to reclaim 1 hour of your day, you must begin with a brutally honest truth. You are losing time in places you don't even see. And that is far more dangerous than losing time deliberately. At least when you waste time intentionally, you know you're doing it. But when time leaks out quietly, silently, invisibly, that's when your life starts slipping without your permission. Most people don't realize it, but the average person leaks 45 to 90 minutes every single day through tiny behaviors: mindless scrolling, repeating tasks, hesitation, overthinking, double-checking, and redoing what wasn't done properly the first time. It's not that people are lazy, it's that they are unaware. As Epictetus warned, what you do not examine, you cannot improve. Whether you like it or not, unexamined minutes are stolen minutes. The real question is not, how do I get more time? The real question is, where is my time escaping? This is the first shift you must make. Because you don't need more hours. You need fewer leaks. And leaks are everywhere. The invisible losses you don't recognize. Let's start with the one thief that everyone underestimates: the phone. Not because phones are bad, but because they are engineered to hijack attention. Every swipe, every notification, every microglance fragments your focus and resets your brain's momentum. You might think, but it's only a few seconds. But in reality, each few seconds is a withdrawal from your mental bank. Behavioral researchers call this the switching cost. Every time your attention is broken, you lose not only the seconds you spent but also the recovery time, 20 to 25 minutes, needed to reach full cognitive depth again. And what's worse, most of these micro-distractions feel harmless, so you never challenge them. Just as a dripping tap can waste gallons of water over a month, so too can your micro-distractions waste entire days of your life over a year. This isn't exaggeration, this is math. The Toyota lesson: eliminate friction, eliminate loss. Now let's borrow wisdom from one of the world's most efficient systems, the Toyota Production System, TPS. Toyota doesn't obsess about working harder. They obsess about removing friction, what they call muda, waste, mura, unevenness, and muri, overburden. Their philosophy is simple. If a system fails, it's not because people are flawed, but because the process is flawed. Seneca said the same thing centuries earlier. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. In other words, most suffering is structural, not personal. What Toyota mastered is this: every repeated action must be streamlined, every unnecessary movement must be eliminated, every friction point must be examined. This is why their factories save seconds, not minutes, because seconds compound. Elon Musk used a similar philosophy at Tesla. The best part is no part. Meaning, the most efficient step is the step you eliminate. Now ask yourself, what steps in your day are necessary? Where do you reopen apps needlessly? Where do you repeat tasks because your system is weak? Where do you delay decisions because you haven't simplified your options? The more important issue is not that you are busy. It's that your business is inefficient. Death by repeated tasks. Let's talk about repetitive actions. Most people repeat the same micro-tasks dozens of times a day. Checking the same email thread, rewriting reminders, reorganizing the same documents, reopening the same tabs, re-choosing what to wear, eat, or prioritize. None of this feels dramatic, but it is draining. Ibn Khaldun warned about this centuries ago. Repetition without purpose drains the soul and weakens the will. Modern psychology confirms this. Repeated decision-making drains willpower more than hard labor. Bill Gates once said that he always tried to minimize the number of decisions he made in a day because every decision, big or small, took cognitive energy. Think about this. If one repeated task costs you only 30 seconds, but you perform it 40 times a day, that's 20 minutes gone. Add 3 such repetitive habits and you've lost a full hour. The danger of micro-hesitation. Another invisible leak, hesitation. Every time you pause unnecessarily before acting, scrolling a bit, thinking too long, waiting for the right moment, you lose more time than you realize. Sun Tzu wrote, "If you know the path, move swiftly." Hesitation increases resistance. Resistance increases inefficiency. And as Marcus Aurelius declared, a man's worth is measured by the things he gives his attention to. If your attention is scattered, your value leaks with it. Don't just take my word for it. Look at the people who achieve massive results. Samina Baig scaling Everest, Muhammad Ali sharpening his timing through brutal discipline, Mother Teresa structuring her day down to minutes, Eddie running one of the world's largest social services from a tiny office with a simple, friction-free workflow. They weren't superhuman. They were simply leak-proof. The leak that comes from mental clutter. Physical clutter wastes time. Digital clutter wastes time. But mental clutter, that is the greatest thief of all. What's often overlooked is that mental clutter is the root cause of all other leaks. When your mind is overloaded, your decisions slow down. When decisions slow down, you hesitate. When you hesitate, you get distracted. When you get distracted, your productivity collapses. The Quran reminds, "Do not let your hearts be distracted." The Bible says, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." This is about more than organization, it's about clarity. Because clarity saves time. Chapter 2. Build a morning that gives you power, not panic ****. A powerful day begins with a powerful morning. Whether you like it or not, the first 60 minutes of your day determine the quality of the next 15 hours. And if your morning begins in chaos, scrolling, rushing, reacting, stumbling, then your entire day becomes a battle against a momentum you created by accident. It's not that people lack discipline, it's that they start their day behind and spend the rest of the day trying to catch up. That is the silent tragedy of modern life. The real question is not, how do I get motivated in the morning? The real question is, how do I build a morning that creates its own motivation? Because motivation is not the cause of a good morning. An organized morning is the cause of motivation. And a chaotic morning is the cause of emotional exhaustion. The cost of morning chaos. Let's start with the truth few people want to admit. Chaotic mornings build weekdays. They drain emotional bandwidth, cloud judgment, and destroy the very discipline you're trying to build. Marcus Aurelius warned, "At dawn, when you rise unwillingly, remember your purpose." He wasn't telling you to wake up early, he was telling you to wake up aligned. When you wake up with no structure, your first minutes are dictated by the loudest input, notifications, noise, urgency, and comparison. This instantly pushes your brain into reactive mode. And once you're reactive, you lose the ability to lead your own day. No one can deny that technology has made life more convenient, but what's often overlooked is how it has invited chaos into the first sacred moments of your morning. Every scroll, every alert, every random message pulls you away from yourself. Not because you're weak, but because the morning is the most sensitive part of your mental rhythm. Think about it. Just as a plane needs clear air for takeoff, so too does your mind need clarity to rise into the day. The morning systems of high-impact leaders. Abdul Sattau Eddy, who ran the largest volunteer ambulance service in the world, started his mornings the same way for decades, quiet, simple, structured, with a deep sense of responsibility. People who worked with him recall that he always began the day already calm, already clear, because his morning was stripped of noise and clutter. Mother Teresa began her mornings in silent intention before stepping out into the chaos of service. She understood that power comes from inner order, not outer activity. Companies follow the same logic. Take 3M, one of the most consistently innovative companies in history. Their mornings begin with structured huddles, short, clear alignment meetings that eliminate confusion and establish priorities. They know what we often forget. When the morning is precise, the day becomes productive. Toyota starts their production day with Hansei, a few disciplined moments of reflection and alignment. Not because reflection is poetic, but because it makes their system efficient. Purpose before action. Clarity before motion. Elon Musk has said that his mornings are meticulously organized because morning disorder compounds into afternoon inefficiency. Bill Gates schedules his first hour carefully, not to be rigid, but to avoid mental scattering, because scattered mornings create scattered leadership. Just as great companies organize their first minutes to set the tone for the day, so too must you. The science of morning momentum. Psychologists call the first hour after waking the cognitive priming period. Whatever you do during this window becomes the emotional template for the rest of your day. This means, if your morning starts with panic, your brain stays in survival mode. If your morning starts with clarity, your brain stays in leadership mode. If your morning starts with noise, your brain gets addicted to distraction. Oh, if your morning starts with intention, your brain defaults to control. Samina Baig didn't climb Everest by waking up whenever she felt like it. Her mornings in the mountains were structured, disciplined, and purpose-driven. Order at the start allowed her to face chaos afterward. Muhammad Ali trained at dawn not because it was glamorous, but because it built psychological dominance. He said, "The fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road long before I dance under the lights." The Quran says, "The dawn has its own clarity," emphasizing the spiritual significance of early alignment. The Bible states, "Those who seek early shall find favor." These aren't just religious statements, they are psychological truths. Morning order creates all-day order. Morning leadership creates all-day leadership. The 4-step morning structure. Now that you understand the why, let's build the how. This morning structure is not complicated. It is not overwhelming. It is designed to be lean, powerful, and impossible to fail. Step 1. Silence before stimulation, 5 minutes. Start with stillness. No phone. No notifications. No digital intrusion. The purpose is simple. Reclaim your mind before the world claims it. As Rumi wrote, "Silence is the language of God, all else is poor translation." Silence builds ownership. Step 2. Define today in one sentence, 2 minutes. Write the single most important outcome for the day. Not a to-do list. Not a paragraph. One sentence. This creates alignment, and alignment creates momentum. What we need is not more tasks, but rather more clarity. Step 3. Move the body, wake the mind, 5 to 10 minutes. Light movement activates your neurology. You're not trying to exercise, you're trying to switch your mind into high-performance mode. Just as engines need warm-up time, so too does the human brain. Step 4. Eliminate first-hour friction, 10 minutes. Prepare the night before, clothes, workstation, schedule. This turns your morning into a glide path, not a battlefield. Far from being small, these steps create a psychological runway. This is how you start your day with power, not panic. Your morning is not a routine. It is the foundation of your identity. It's not about waking up at the perfect time. It's about waking up as your highest self. Break your old mornings, and you break your old limitations. Build a new morning, and you build a new life. Chapter 3. Turn decisions into systems. Automate your life ***. Every decision you make takes energy. Every choice, no matter how small, drains your cognitive resources. Psychologists call this decision fatigue, and it is one of the silent killers of productivity. Most people don't realize it, but by mid-morning, many have already lost 30 to 90 minutes simply because their brains have been overworked by minor, repeated choices. The real question is not, how can I be more disciplined? The real question is, how can I structure my life so that discipline is automatic? Human willpower is finite, but systems are infinite. Elon Musk doesn't waste time choosing what to wear. He wears the same style every day. Jeff Bezos famously wore the same type of outfit daily to conserve mental energy for decisions that actually matter. Tesla's production line doesn't rely on heroic improvisation, it relies on repeatable, predictable systems. BYD eliminates randomness in their factories with standard processes that optimize every movement. Shan Foods, one of Pakistan's largest food producers, succeeds not because of innovation alone, but because their systems ensure every employee, every kitchen, and every shipment follows a precise, proven sequence. Decision fatigue, the silent drain. It's easy to underestimate decision fatigue because it is invisible. Researchers have shown that people become more impulsive, indecisive, or passive as decision fatigue increases. This explains why emails get ignored, tasks delayed, and opportunities missed. Not only does decision fatigue reduce efficiency, but also increases stress. Every microchoice forces your brain to evaluate options, consequences, and priorities. Multiply this by dozens or hundreds of small decisions, and you've unknowingly drained the equivalent of an hour, or more, before noon. The more important issue is that decision fatigue doesn't feel painful until it's too late. You may think you are performing at full capacity, but by midday, the subtle deterioration in judgment has already begun. Systems eliminate randomness. So, what is the antidote? Systems. Systems are the silent champions of productivity. A system removes randomness. A system reduces decisions. A system makes your behavior predictable and your output reliable. Not because you're rigid, but because your system is intelligent. Consider Tesla. Elon Musk's factories do not rely on improvisation. Every station, every robot, every workflow is standardized. Engineers don't debate small actions because the system has already decided the optimal path. This doesn't reduce creativity, it amplifies it. Creativity is then applied where it truly matters: innovation, problem-solving, and growth. BYD applies the same principle in electric vehicle production. Teams work within rigid systems that define each movement, each inspection, and each assembly sequence. Randomness is minimized, errors drop, and production scales with consistent quality. Even in non-industrial contexts, the lesson holds. Shan Foods uses detailed SOPs for production, shipping, and customer communication. Employees are trained to follow predictable workflows. Chaos is eliminated. Decisions that would otherwise consume mental bandwidth are automated. Productivity soars, not by effort alone, but by system design. The pattern is clear. If you want to save time and energy, build systems that remove unnecessary decisions. Now let's translate this into your personal life. What you need is not more willpower, but systems that handle repeated decisions automatically. Here's how. 1. Meals and nutrition. Decide your meals in advance. Batch cook or follow a 7-day rotation. Don't let your brain waste energy deciding what to eat. Bill Gates reportedly schedules all meals to prevent unnecessary mental friction. This ensures energy for higher-value decisions instead of wasting it on minor choices. 2. Clothing and personal preparation. Create a limited, functional wardrobe. Elon Musk's wardrobe simplicity is legendary, By eliminating clothing decisions, he frees his mind for product strategy and engineering. Samina Beg also simplifies preparation before climbing. Clothes, gear, and meals are pre-planned. These small routines preserve cognitive energy for the challenges that truly matter. Free, workflow and task systems. Group similar tasks together. Schedule communication, creative work, and administrative duties in blocks. Amazon pioneered this concept. Jeff Bezos' teams operate on clear, predictable schedules where recurring decisions are pre-decided. Use calendars, templates, and checklists. The more routine your workflow, the fewer decisions you make, the higher your productivity. 4. Communication systems. Standardize how you respond to emails, messages, and calls. For example, use template responses for routine queries. Shan Foods trains staff to communicate in predefined, effective ways, reducing back and forth and wasted mental energy. Even high-level leaders like Eddie maintain disciplined communication patterns, simple, direct, and systemized. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." But if your brain is constantly bogged down by minor choices, you never even reach the obstacle. You collapse under the weight of fatigue. Systems are like scaffolding. They support you. They protect your energy. They allow your willpower to be applied where it counts. Muhammad Ali trained with strict routines not only to perfect technique but to remove ambiguity. When the fight began, decisions were automatic, muscle memory took over, and focus was absolute. Samina Beg planned her climbs to remove every small choice, leaving mental bandwidth for the unpredictable challenges of high-altitude mountaineering. In business, predictability is power. In life, predictability is freedom. Stepwise implementation. Here's a simple blueprint. Audit your daily decisions. Track every repeated choice for 24 hours. Identify the ones that drain energy. Eliminate what is unnecessary. Stop deciding on trivial matters. Predefine your clothing, meals, and morning routines. Automate what can be automated. Use templates, checklists, and recurring schedules. Shan Foods, Tesla, and BYD thrive because systems are automated, not just written down, review, and refine. Systems are not static. Test, adjust, and optimize weekly. The more decisions you automate, the fewer opportunities your brain has to fatigue. Chapter 4. Master the 3-hour deep work block. Imagine this. One single 3-hour block of undisturbed focus can produce more results than an entire day scattered across dozens of half-finished tasks. The most valuable currency you own is your attention, and attention is stolen every time you flip between apps, notifications, emails, and meetings. Cal Newport calls it deep work, and those who master it outperform their peers in creativity, output, and problem-solving. Far from being a modern concept, the principle has been quietly practiced by the world's greatest creators, inventors, and leaders. Thomas Edison didn't tinker randomly in his lab. He scheduled long, uninterrupted stretches to experiment, refine, and invent. Nikola Tesla spent hours alone in silence, lost in equations and electrical experiments, producing breakthroughs that changed the world. Dr. Adib Rizvi, a pioneer in complex surgeries, credits much of his success to prolonged blocks of concentrated preparation and problem-solving, time when distractions were eliminated and the mind was fully present. The real question is not, why should I focus? The real question is, how do I create and protect the time to do it? The power of deep work. Let's quantify the impact. Studies show that after just 30 minutes of continuous focus, cognitive performance peaks. After 90 to 120 minutes, productivity continues to climb, and your mind enters a state of flow, where creativity, problem-solving, and output are exponentially higher. Interruptions reset this process. Every notification, every chat, every microtask pulls you out of flow, costing 20 to 30 minutes of mental recovery each time. No one can deny that multitasking feels productive, but what's often overlooked is that shallow work is a trap. Answering emails, attending meetings, and jumping between tasks produces busyness, not value. Busy is the enemy of results. The lesson is clear. The intensity of focus determines the magnitude of output. One person's 3-hour deep work block often eclipses another person's 8-hour distracted day. Elon Musk, when designing Tesla vehicles, isolates complex problems into focused work blocks. During these hours, he ignores emails, meetings, and interruptions. The result? Breakthrough innovations that redefine industries. Bill Gates, famously, takes think weeks, retreating from all communication to read, reflect, and focus on strategy. Even Muhammad Ali, in his prime, spent long hours in focused training and visualization, refining technique with undivided attention. The world didn't see the hours, they only saw the results. Deep work is invisible, but its outcomes are unmistakable. Stepwise structuring of a deep work block. Step 1. Schedule the block. Pick a consistent 3-hour period each day. Morning is ideal because cognitive energy is highest. The mind is fresh, attention is strong, and decision fatigue hasn't yet set in. This is why high performers like Dr. Adib Rizvi and Tesla engineers protect the first half of their day for complex work. Step 2. Protect the block. Inform colleagues, silence notifications, and eliminate potential interruptions. Just as Tesla's assembly lines operate without disruption, your focus block must be sacred. Shallow work can wait. Step 3. Define the outcome. Decide in advance what you want to achieve. One sentence, one measurable goal. Edison tested hypotheses systematically because every experiment had a clear purpose. Flow emerges from clarity. Step 4. Remove cognitive friction. Prepare everything before the block starts. Relevant materials, workspace, tools, and resources must be ready. Far from being trivial, these small steps prevent interruptions, wasted energy, and decision fatigue. Samina Baig prepares all gear before climbing Everest, not during. Deep work works the same way. Step 5. Take micro-recovery breaks. After 60 to 90 minutes, a 3-5-minute pause to stretch, breathe, or refocus maintains sustained intensity. It preserves energy, preventing cognitive burnout. Even Tesla engineers schedule microbreaks during critical assembly and testing phases to maintain precision. Psychological reinforcement. It's not that you need to work harder, it's that your mind needs to respect the sanctity of focus time. Just as Toyota engineers follow rigorous processes to prevent errors, deep work requires discipline and structure. The more you protect this time, the stronger your mental muscles become. The more interruptions you allow, the weaker your performance and the lower the quality of your results. Deep work is about building mental dominance. The first hour sets the tone, the third hour delivers breakthroughs. No one becomes exceptional by scattering attention. Exceptional people isolate their focus, then multiply its effect. Real-world applications. Innovation and invention. Edison in Menlo Park produced over 1,000 patents, not through business but through focused, uninterrupted experimentation. The 3-hour block principle was inherent in his lab culture, medicine and surgery. Dr. Adib Rizvi prepares for complex surgeries by dedicating extended periods to study patient data, visualize procedures, and anticipate complications. This deep work reduces errors and enhances outcomes. Entrepreneurship and strategy. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk all use deep focus periods to solve complex problems, from market strategy to product innovation. Distraction would collapse their decision-making power, athletics, and skill mastery. Muhammad Ali and modern athletes use intense focus blocks to refine technique, condition the body, and visualize performance, turning ordinary practice into extraordinary results. The core message of this chapter: deep work is not optional. It is non-negotiable for anyone seeking extraordinary results. One 3-hour block, executed correctly, can outperform an entire week of shallow work. Not only does deep work produce measurable results, but it also strengthens your mental discipline, sharpens focus, and increases creative output. It's about more than productivity. It's about mastery. Chapter 5. Use the one priority rule. Not everything is important. Whether you like it or not, your attention is your most valuable asset, and yet most people squander it chasing multiple tasks at once. Multitasking is celebrated as a skill, but in reality, it is the fastest route to exhaustion, mediocrity, and frustration. The human brain cannot truly handle two demanding tasks at the same time. Not only does multitasking dilute effort, but it also diminishes results. The more you scatter your attention, the less progress you make on the things that matter. This is why leaders, inventors, and organizations that dominate their fields do not multitask. They prioritize ruthlessly. The real question is not, how can I get more done? The real question is, how do I focus on the single most important task that moves the needle today? Consider Hamdard, a company that has thrived for decades in the pharmaceutical industry. Every department, every project is aligned to one mission: deliver trusted health solutions efficiently. Hamdard doesn't dilute resources on secondary tasks. The strategy is simple: mission first, distractions last. This laser focus allows innovation, consistency, and growth without burning out teams or leadership. The myth of multitasking. Not because multitasking feels productive, but because it is a trap. Cognitive science shows that when we switch between tasks, our brains need time to reorient. Each switch costs an average of 20 to 30 minutes in lost focus. A day spent juggling may appear full, but the output is fragmented, flawed, and often incomplete. Just as Tesla engineers follow precise assembly procedures without deviation, you need to establish a rigid focus on one priority at a time. Far from being rigid, this principle liberates your time and energy. The more important issue is that mastery and excellence emerge not from speed or quantity, but from concentration and quality. The one priority rule is deceptively simple. Identify the single most important task each day, assign 1 hour, and eliminate all distractions during that hour. One mission: decide what task, project, or goal, if completed today, will create the largest impact on your progress. Elon Musk doesn't chase every minor project simultaneously. He channels attention to the highest impact engineering or strategic problem. Samina Baig, preparing for her Everest climb, focused solely on training, acclimatization, and logistics during her critical pre-climb months. Every other distraction was postponed. 1 hour. Protect at least one continuous hour for this task. Research confirms that extended attention blocks exponentially increase output. Dr. Adi Brizvi, before complex surgeries, dedicates focused hours to study patient scans and surgical plans. These uninterrupted periods maximize effectiveness, prevent errors, and elevate performance beyond what scattered effort could achieve. No distractions, silence notifications, close unrelated tabs, inform colleagues that you are unavailable. It's not enough to try to focus. Focus must be defended aggressively. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. The same principle applies here. Eliminate debate with yourself about whether you can focus. Why this works. The beauty of the one priority rule is in its simplicity. By narrowing focus, you reduce mental friction, prevent decision fatigue, and multiply impact. Far from being restrictive, this rule gives freedom. Freedom from the chaos of scattered tasks, freedom to perform at a high level, and freedom to finish days with measurable accomplishment. No one can deny that multitasking seems efficient, but what's often overlooked is that it destroys cognitive momentum. Momentum is created when attention is concentrated. Once momentum builds, even complex tasks feel manageable, progress accelerates, and confidence grows. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett both practice versions of this principle. Gates famously takes think weeks, periods of complete focus on strategy and reading. Buffett spends a majority of his day reading, reflecting, and analyzing, ignoring the small, superficial noise of distractions. This is not laziness, it's strategic prioritization. Real-world examples. Business execution. Hamdad's focus-first approach allows them to deliver high-quality products consistently. Departments align on the primary mission, leaving minor tasks for later. The result is streamlined operations and sustained growth. Entrepreneurship. Amazon's success isn't accidental. Jeff Bezos insists on prioritizing the single most important initiative, then dedicating energy until results manifest. This discipline prevents dilution of effort across low-value projects. Innovation. Edison, during the Menlo Park experiments, concentrated on one invention at a time. He did not scatter attention across multiple prototypes simultaneously, which allowed for breakthrough efficiency and invention velocity. Sports mastery. Muhammad Ali focused intensely on one skill or technique per session. This focus, repeated day after day, produced world-class mastery, not a superficial, scattered training routine. Implementing the rule daily. Morning priority selection. At the start of the day, identify one task that will move the needle. If everything seems urgent, ask, which task, if completed today, will make all the other tasks easier or irrelevant? Protect your hour. Dedicate one solid hour for this task. During this time, you are untouchable. No emails, no calls, no social media. Even a 3-minute interruption breaks focus. Reflect and adjust. At the end of the hour, evaluate progress. Did you complete the task? If not, why? Adjust your next hour accordingly. Elon Musk is known for segmenting tasks into time-block priorities, refining the system continuously. Repeat. Apply the same rule for additional high-impact tasks if necessary, but always sequentially, not simultaneously. The goal is mastery, not business. The core lesson of this chapter. The one priority rule transforms chaos into control. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, better than anyone else, and without distraction. Just as Samina Baig focused exclusively on her training for Everest, just as Hamdad aligns every team member to the core mission, and just as Edison focused on one invention at a time, you too can reclaim your time, energy, and results by ruthlessly applying this rule. Chapter 6. Declutter your physical and digital world. Whether you like it or not, clutter is a silent killer of productivity. It's not just about messy desks or overflowing inboxes. It's about cognitive load, decision fatigue, and wasted seconds that add up to hours lost. Every unnecessary item, every unfiled document, every unopened email steals mental energy, creates hesitation, and lowers performance. Far from being trivial, clutter directly impacts the speed and quality of your decisions. Consider modern manufacturing giants like Toyota or Tesla. Their production lines follow minimalistic efficiency standards. Every tool, part, and instruction is strategically placed to maximize output, reduce errors, and save seconds that scale to hours across thousands of operations. Similarly, your physical and digital world should be designed to amplify clarity and speed, not obstruct it. The psychology of clutter. No one can deny that clutter feels natural in our overstuffed lives. Yet what's often overlooked is its psychological impact. Research shows that visual clutter activates stress centers in the brain, reducing working memory and increasing decision hesitation. Every object, every file, every unorganized note creates micro-friction that adds up throughout the day. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The mind adapts to what it sees." Control your environment, and you control your thoughts. The same principle applies to your workspace, your digital folders, and your apps. Decluttering is about building mental bandwidth, the space to think clearly, decide rapidly, and act decisively. Decluttering the physical world. Physical clutter is the easiest to see, yet the most ignored. A disorganized desk, closet, or workspace doesn't just slow your hands, it slows your mind. Far from being aesthetic, the placement and accessibility of items determine the speed and quality of your work. Step 1. Identify the essentials. Take 10 minutes to remove everything not immediately necessary for your current task or project. Elon Musk reportedly surrounds himself only with immediate reference materials during engineering sprints, no irrelevant papers, no decorative distractions. Samina Baig, preparing for Everest, only kept gear, clothing, and essentials within reach, eliminating mental clutter about what to grab next. Step 2. Implement strategic storage. Everything else belongs in labeled, accessible storage. Minimalism is not deprivation, it's strategic efficiency. Toyota engineers use Kanban systems to track parts, reducing inventory clutter and mistakes. Apply the same principle to your workspace, folders, bins, drawers. Everything should have a purpose and a place. Step 3. The 10-minute daily reset. At the end of each workday, dedicate 10 minutes to return items to their proper places. The impact is immediate. Entering a clean, orderly space tomorrow reduces hesitation and primes the mind for high performance. Bill Gates famously credits his orderly routine for mental clarity during complex decision-making days. Decluttering the digital world. Your physical space is only half the battle. Digital clutter, emails, files, tabs, apps, notifications, is even more insidious. Every ping, every unread message, every disorganized folder imposes decision friction, pulling attention and energy from deep work. Step 1. Inbox zero, systematically. Divide emails into 3 categories: actionable, reference, or delete, archive. Apply the touch once principle, act immediately or assign a precise time for action. Jeff Bezos uses assistance and strict sorting to manage inbox clutter during high-stakes decision-making periods. Step 2. Streamline files and folders. Organize digital folders hierarchically, with clear naming conventions. Shan Foods and Tesla maintain internal databases structured for rapid access and minimal search friction. Apply the same rigor to your personal digital files. Searching for a document costs mental energy. Eliminate the need to search. Step 3. Minimalist app environment. Remove unused apps, disable notifications, and limit background processes. Even minor distractions like badge counts or social media alerts create micro-friction, forcing the brain to task switch unnecessarily. Far from being trivial, these micro-breaks erode hours of potential deep focus. The 10-minute declutter routine. Here's a fast, high-impact routine you can implement daily. Clear your desk of everything but the task at hand. 2 minutes, sort incoming papers or notes into keep, act, or discard. 3 minutes, organize digital workspace, close tabs, sort desktop files, archive unnecessary items, 3 minutes. Quickly scan email for urgent versus non-urgent and file or flag accordingly, 2 minutes. Total, 10 minutes. Do this daily, and you instantly free up mental space, speed, and clarity. You might think it's minor, but in reality, the compounding effect is enormous. Hours of friction-free attention accumulate week after week. Examples of decluttering. Edison's laboratory, despite its size, Menlo Park operated on a strict organization principle. Each tool, sample, and document had a place, allowing rapid iteration on experiments. Toyota production lines, Kanban systems eliminate unnecessary inventory and movement. Every second saves scales across thousands of workers and millions of operations. Elon Musk's engineering sprints, only immediate reference materials are kept on desks or monitors. Irrelevant distractions are physically and digitally removed. Samina Beg's Everest preparation, each piece of gear had a dedicated place. No time or energy was wasted searching or second-guessing. The core lesson of this chapter. It's not that clutter is dangerous, it's that it silently steals your energy and time. Not because it's visible, but because it creates mental friction. The more clutter you tolerate, the more hesitation and micro-decision fatigue you experience. Just as a well-organized lab, factory, or training ground accelerates productivity, a decluttered workspace and digital environment accelerates your life. Whether you like it or not, clarity in your surroundings creates clarity in your mind. Chapter 7. Learn the courage to say no without guilt. It's easy to think that saying yes makes you liked, cooperative, or indispensable. Far from being harmless, saying yes to everything is a silent killer of your time, energy, and progress. Whether you like it or not, every yes that isn't aligned with your priorities steals hours of your life, fragments your focus, and dilutes your discipline. Far from being just a matter of politeness, learning to say no strategically is one of the highest leverage habits you can adopt. The real question is not whether saying no feels uncomfortable, it's about whether your life, mission, and focus are being respected. Just as Toyota eliminates unnecessary steps on a production line, or Elon Musk limits meetings to high-value participants, your time requires ruthless protection. Why saying yes is a trap. It's easy to say yes, but harder to recognize its cost. Each unsolicited meeting, casual favor, or impulsive obligation consumes mental bandwidth, leaving fewer resources for what truly matters. Not because generosity is bad, but because unguarded compliance dilutes your impact. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It's not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." Saying yes to everything is a form of slow death for your priorities. You may think you're being helpful, but in reality, you are scattering your energy, eroding focus, and reinforcing reactive habits rather than proactive leadership. Consider Ruth Fow, the nun who spent her life eradicating leprosy in Pakistan. She was approached by countless people for help, yet she mastered the courage to protect her critical mission time. Not because she was cold, but because she recognized that her focus had a far greater impact than spreading herself thin. Mother Teresa, too, often rejected well-meaning distractions to serve her mission with maximum effectiveness. The psychology of guilt. Saying no often triggers guilt. This is human. You worry about offending others or being judged as selfish. But far from being an emotional weakness, the real issue is clarity of purpose. The real question is not how others will react, but how much your attention, energy, and life are worth. Muhammad Ali said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." The champion's ability to say no to immediate comfort or distraction created extraordinary results. Similarly, Your ability to say no to low-value demands creates uninterrupted time for excellence. Tactical ways to say no. Saying no is both an art and a discipline. Not only does it protect your time, but it also reinforces boundaries and respect. Here are tactical approaches inspired by leaders, philosophers, and successful organizations. 1. The buffer no. Instead of an immediate rejection, offer a buffer. I need to check my schedule and get back to you. This allows you to evaluate requests against priorities. Tesla engineers use similar filters for project requests, ensuring only high-value tasks consume bandwidth. 2. The priority no. Frame the no in terms of mission alignment. I would love to help, but my current focus must be on X. I can't give this the attention it deserves. Abdul Sattawedi was approached by countless people seeking aid, yet he prioritized critical, life-saving interventions above all else. This no is respected because it demonstrates integrity and focus. 3. The delegation no. Not all tasks require your direct attention. Say, I can't handle this, but I recommend Y or Z as capable alternatives. Amazon's leadership principles stress high leverage over personal execution. Delegation frees your time without creating conflict. 4. The conditional yes. Offer yes on your terms. I can do this, but only if we adjust the timeline to next week. Far from being passive, this tactic shapes external demands to fit your priorities rather than surrendering control. Examples of courageous numbers. Eddy Foundation. Eddy refused countless requests for personal favors to focus on life-saving clinics and ambulance services. His impact multiplied because he said no to distractions with unwavering courage. Mother Teresa. She often declined meetings with VIPs unless it directly advanced her mission, preserving time for hands-on humanitarian work. Elon Musk. He famously rejects unnecessary meetings and emails. I say no to 99% of things, Musk has said, so I can focus on building something that matters. Muhammad Ali. Saying no to comfort, laziness, or distraction in training allowed him to dominate the boxing world. These examples show that saying no is not selfish, it's strategic, necessary, and empowering. Habits to build courage and consistency. Here's a step-by-step approach to mastering no. Clarify your mission. Know what truly matters in your life. If you don't, every request will feel urgent. Evaluate every yes. Apply a filter. Does this align with my top priority? If not, prepare your no. Practice tactical phrases. Use buffer no, priority no, delegation no, or conditional yes. Keep them ready. They reduce guilt. Start small. Practice on minor distractions first. Over time, saying no becomes second nature. Protect your calendar ruthlessly. Bill Gates schedules every hour and protects it. Your time is your mission-critical resource. The core lesson of this chapter. Not because saying yes feels good, but because saying no strategically creates freedom, focus, and power. The more important issue is discipline over popularity. Whether you like it or not, your ability to protect your time defines your impact. Far from being rude or selfish, a courageous no is a signal of value, clarity, and mission-focused leadership. Chapter 8. Turn waiting time into growth time ****. Time is the currency of life, yet most of us treat it as infinite. Far from being idle, every moment lost waiting is a minute stolen from your growth, your learning, and your mastery. Whether in traffic, queues, elevators, or between meetings, the average person squanders 20 to 40 minutes a day, nearly 5 hours a week, doing nothing that moves the needle on their life. Not because waiting is inherently useless, but because we fail to assign value to micro moments. The real question is not how much time you have, but how deliberately you use every fragment of it. It's easy to say I'll catch up later or I'll use my downtime eventually, but harder to convert scattered minutes into structured growth. The lost minutes and their cost. Think about your day, waiting for a bus, scrolling on your phone at a cafe, standing in line at a bank, or sitting idle before a meeting. Most people scroll mindlessly, check social media, or let their mind wander. The result? Cognitive entropy, wasted opportunities, and scattered focus. Not only do these lost moments add up, but they also silently erode discipline. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Don't act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." Waiting time is exactly this moment in power, a fragment of life ripe for deliberate action. Look at Bill Gates. Known as a voracious reader and lifelong learner, Gates reportedly carried a small notebook or reading material everywhere. Waiting at airports, in traffic, or between meetings, he used micro-moments to read, reflect, and plan, compounding knowledge at an extraordinary rate. Not because he had more time than others, but because he refused to squander every single fragment of his day. Micro-moments as opportunities. You might think a few idle minutes are too short to matter, but in reality, the small accumulates into massive. Let's quantify 30 minutes per day, multiplied by 5 days, multiplied by 52 weeks a year, equals 130 hours annually, over 3 weeks of full-time work, wasted or reclaimed. The real leverage lies not in long, uninterrupted blocks, but in converting the smallest windows into growth engines. Elon Musk is a master of micro-productivity. He reportedly uses small segments of waiting or transit time to answer emails, think through engineering problems, or outline product ideas. Far from chaotic, his life is a deliberate orchestration of every second toward output. Similarly, Samina Baig, the Pakistani mountaineer, maximized short training intervals, breaks, and travel time to condition herself, learn routes, and visualize summits. She teaches us that even waiting is part of preparation when approached strategically. A simple system, every waiting moment is training time. Here is a practical routine to convert every idle minute into growth time. 1. Carry your tools. Always have one or more micro-learning instruments, a pocket notebook, an audiobook, or an app for bite-sized skill building. BYD and Toyota employees often carry structured work templates to turn transit or downtime into planning sessions, reducing idle time while increasing output. 2. Set micro-goals. Decide what you can accomplish in 5 to 15 minutes. Memorize a quote, practice a language, draft a short idea, or reflect on your priorities. Not because large goals are unimportant, but because small, deliberate wins compound. 3. Practice reflection. Use waiting to reflect strategically. Ask, what went right today? What needs improvement? What one action will move me forward? Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Reflection transforms idle minutes into mental sharpening sessions. 4. Idea generation. Jot down ideas, problems, or solutions. Edison reportedly carried small notebooks for this reason, capturing sparks of innovation during moments others dismissed as trivial. Far from random, structured idea capture creates a personal innovation engine. 5. Mindful observation. Observe people, processes, or your environment. Elon Musk emphasizes learning from everything around him. Whether in the subway, waiting in line, or at a cafe, observation fuels creativity, problem-solving, and awareness. Real-world applications. Consider the corporate example of 3M. Employees are encouraged to utilize micro-reflection breaks, transforming idle time into problem-solving, innovation, or rapid learning sessions. Shan Foods leaders similarly encourage team members to think through quality checks or process improvements even during downtime. These small habits compound into exponential improvements in efficiency and output. Even in daily life, you can convert waiting time into growth by listening to podcasts, reading a book, or mentally rehearsing a difficult conversation. Building consistency. The more important issue is not having tools, it's developing the habit to always see waiting as opportunity. Here's how to make this automatic. Identify recurring waits, commuting, lunch lines, airport security, or elevator rides. Prepare micro-resources, audio lessons, flashcards, notebooks. Assign intent to each session, reflection, learning, creativity. Evaluate weekly. Track how micro-moments compound into measurable progress. Just as Tesla engineers break down massive projects into micro-iterations, your waiting moments become a series of mini-wins, which aggregate into massive gains in knowledge, focus, and growth. Whether you like it or not, waiting is inevitable. The only choice is whether you will let it vanish into distraction or harness it for advancement. Not because micro-moments seem small, but because disciplined use of time, even in fragments, determines the trajectory of your life. You might think 5 or 10 minutes are inconsequential, but in reality, they are micro-compounding opportunities. No one can deny that waiting is universal, but what's often overlooked is that these moments are latent power, moments when your mind can grow, reflect, and innovate. Chapter 9. Experiment with your life. Unlock faster results. ***. Growth is not linear, and progress rarely comes from waiting for perfect conditions. Far from being reckless, experimentation is the engine of mastery. Whether in business, personal development, or creative endeavors, those who iterate, test, and adjust consistently outperform those who hesitate or cling to certainty. The real question is not whether life is unpredictable, it is, but whether you will use experimentation as a lever to accelerate learning or let fear and perfectionism slow you to a crawl. The fallacy of perfection. It's easy to say, "I'll wait until I'm ready," but harder to act when uncertainty looms. The trap of perfectionism is universal. People postpone action because they want the perfect idea, perfect plan, or perfect timing. Not only does this delay results, but it also blinds them to real-world feedback that would inform smarter decisions. Tesla and BYD exemplify the opposite approach. Elon Musk doesn't wait for flawless prototypes. He launches, tests, fails, and iterates. BYD follows a similar model with electric vehicles, hundreds of small experiments, rapid feedback loops, and relentless iteration. This system produces accelerated learning and tangible results. The same principle applies to your personal life. Waiting for perfect clarity before trying a new skill, project, or routine ensures slow progress. Real understanding comes from doing, failing, adjusting, and doing again. Why experimentation accelerates growth. Consider the story of Samina Baig, Pakistan's pioneering mountaineer. She did not climb K2 perfectly on her first attempt. She experimented with training methods, nutrition, acclimatization schedules, and gear selection. Each attempt, successful or flawed, provided critical feedback that accelerated her mastery. Muhammad Ali trained the same way. He sparred with different partners, tried new techniques, and adjusted strategies fight by fight. He didn't wait to become perfect. He tested, learned, and refined constantly. Not because experimentation guarantees immediate success, but because it shrinks the learning curve. Each rapid adjustment compounds over time, producing far faster results than cautious perfectionism. The experimentation mindset. The experimentation mindset requires discipline, courage, and strategic action. It's not about reckless trial and error. It's about structured, purposeful iteration. Here's how to adopt it. 1. Define the variable. Decide what element of your life or work you want to test. Is it a new morning routine, a productivity technique, or business strategy? Tesla engineers might test battery designs. You might test writing strategies or fitness routines. 2. Set a short time frame. Experiments work best with urgency. Decide, I will test this for 1 week, or I will try this approach for 3 sessions. Short, focused experiments generate rapid feedback without large opportunity costs. Elon Musk repeatedly emphasizes short iteration cycles. Test fast, learn fast, adjust fast. 3. Track feedback rigorously. Measure results objectively. BYD uses data-driven dashboards to evaluate every test, whether in product quality or operational efficiency. In your life, track metrics like energy levels, productivity, mood, or performance outcomes. Not because numbers define value, but because measurement reveals insight and guides adjustment. 4. Adjust, then repeat. No experiment is complete without adjustment. Tesla does not wait for perfection after a first prototype. It iterates continuously. The same applies to personal growth. Analyze results, identify patterns, and refine. Every cycle reduces wasted effort, strengthens skills, and accelerates mastery. 5. Embrace failure as data. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is information. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Each misstep in your experiment is a step forward if you extract lessons and apply them intelligently. Examples. Ruth Pfau, the Mother Teresa of Pakistan, exemplified experimentation in her humanitarian work. Faced with widespread leprosy, she tested different treatment methods, outreach strategies, and patient education approaches. Not every attempt worked, but by testing, observing, and iterating, she built a system that transformed thousands of lives. In business, Amazon constantly experiments with website interfaces, customer service protocols, and operational logistics. Every experiment, no matter how small, produces insights that refine strategy and accelerate growth. Alibaba and Tesla follow similar models. Far from waiting for perfection, they deploy early, learn rapidly, and improve continuously. Even in personal development, the principle holds. If you want to learn a new language, don't wait for the perfect curriculum. Try multiple apps, methods, and conversation partners. Track what works, discard what doesn't, and iterate relentlessly until progress accelerates. Tactical habits to experiment. Micro-experiments. Test small changes in routines, work habits, or mindset. 5 minutes earlier wake-up, a new email system, or a different exercise sequence. Track results for 1 week, reflect and adjust. Every experiment must end with reflection. What worked? What failed? What needs iteration? Journaling for 10 minutes daily reinforces learning. Document outcomes. Create a simple log for wins, failures, and insights. Tesla engineers document every test. You should do the same to accelerate pattern recognition, normalize risk. The more you practice experimentation, the less intimidating it becomes. Far from being reckless, risk becomes calculated and productive. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about cultivating the discipline to test, learn, and adjust relentlessly. Not because experimentation guarantees instant success, but because it eliminates wasted effort on wrong paths and accelerates learning on the right ones. Whether you like it or not, your life is a series of experiments, some conscious, some accidental. The difference lies in control, structure, and speed. This mantra is the heartbeat of Tesla, BYD, Edison, Ali, Gates, and Samina Beg. You might think cautious planning protects you, but in reality, it often delays mastery. The more important issue is action with feedback. The faster you iterate, the sooner you unlock results, discover your strengths, and eliminate wasted time. Chapter 10. Turn 1 hour into a lifetime advantage ***. Time is the most democratic resource. Everyone gets 24 hours a day, yet some people seem to achieve in a single hour what others struggle to accomplish in an entire week. The real question is not whether you have enough time. It is, but whether you claim it intentionally. 1 hour, reclaimed and directed with precision, is not merely an addition to your day. It is multiplication for your life. The power of a single hour. It's easy to dismiss an hour as insignificant. Most people spend it scrolling on social media, waiting in lines, or catching up on trivial tasks. But consider this: an hour of deliberate action every day equals 365 hours a year. That's more than 9 full weeks of uninterrupted, purposeful effort. Elon Musk is a master of the hour. In his early SpaceX days, he would segment his workday into 5-minute blocks. Not only did this maximize output, but it also forced him to extract exponential value from small time pockets. Similarly, Dr. Adib Rizvi, renowned transplant surgeon, treats each hour in the operating theater as a decisive moment for patient outcomes. He doesn't waste a single minute, and the results speak for themselves. The long-term transformation formula. Not because it feels productive, but because it creates irreversible advantage. Using 1 hour intentionally can transform multiple domains of life. 1. Physical health. Fitness is rarely about one intense day. It's about daily consistency. Muhammad Ali famously trained every day, regardless of circumstances. 1 hour devoted to strength, cardio, or mobility doesn't just maintain health. It multiplies longevity and energy, giving you more capacity to achieve elsewhere. 2. Mental mastery. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." 1 hour of focused reflection, journaling, or reading strengthens mental clarity, emotional resilience, and decision-making. Just as Tesla engineers iterate rapidly to improve product quality, a daily mental hour iterates on your inner life. 3. Skill acquisition. Bill Gates famously read 1 book per week in his early career. An hour of deliberate learning daily allows you to master languages, coding, writing, or any skill faster than years of casual study. You might think it takes months to gain competence, but in reality, small, focused investments compounded daily produce mastery. 4. Wealth creation. Even financial literacy compounds. 1 hour a day spent understanding markets, studying investment strategies, or building a side venture accumulates knowledge, networks, and opportunities. The principle is simple. Small, consistent effort compounds faster than sporadic bursts of work. Warren Buffett's success was not built on luck. It was built on decades of incremental, deliberate knowledge acquisition. The 1 hour implementation strategy. How do ordinary individuals translate a single hour into lifetime advantage? Step 1. Identify the hour. Choose an hour of the day that is least likely to be interrupted. Early morning is often ideal. Whether it's 5 a.m. or 6 p.m., this hour should be sacred, non-negotiable, protected, and intentional. Step 2. Decide the domain. What will this hour target? Skill building, physical fitness, meditation, business development, or personal reflection. What we need is not scattered activity, but rather focused intensity on high-impact tasks. Step 3. Eliminate distractions. Silence phones, close unnecessary tabs, and notify others that this is sacred, undisturbed time. Far from being rigid, this practice creates a psychological boundary that reinforces discipline. Step 4. Micro-iteration. Use the hour to experiment within your chosen domain. Just as Tesla prototypes iterate rapidly, use small cycles of focus to test, adjust, and improve. This is learning by doing, accelerated. Step 5. Review and adjust. End each hour with 5 minutes of reflection. What worked? What needs improvement? Document lessons learned. This final step transforms routine effort into compounding advantage, ensuring the hour doesn't just repeat, it evolves. Examples of lifetime leverage. Ruth Pfau spent daily hours in clinics, reaching hundreds of patients. Eddie devoted singular hours to systematize ambulances, shelters, and charity operations. Not only did their hours save lives, but each hour amplified their long-term impact, turning finite effort into exponential results. Samina Baig, in her mountaineering journey, treated every hour on the mountains as a step of preparation or learning. 1 hour of acclimatization, 1 hour of focus practice, 1 hour of reflection. The cumulative effect. She broke national barriers and achieved feats that took years of ordinary effort to realize. In business, Alibaba CEO Jack Ma consistently leveraged quiet hours for reflection, strategy, and learning. 1 hour a day spent studying trends, understanding customers, or mentoring teams transformed his company into a global leader. The core principle. The more important issue is not time itself, but how it is treated. 1 hour of deliberate, intentional focus is more valuable than an entire day of distraction. This isn't about sheer effort, it's about strategic multiplication. You might think a single hour is trivial, but in reality, the exponential effect of consistency ensures that each day compounds advantage across months and years. Far from being a small act, claiming and directing this hour reshapes your habits, skills, and future. Whether you like it or not, the question is, will your hours serve you, or will they vanish into routine distraction? Daily habits. Morning mastery hour. Devote the first hour after waking to your highest priority activity. Evening reflection hour. Review the day, extract lessons, and plan incremental improvements. Microlearning hour. Dedicate 1 hour weekly to skill acquisition or knowledge building. Physical excellence hour. Train your body with precision to amplify energy and focus. Look at the lives of Elon Musk, Samina Baig, Dr. Adib Rizvi, and Ruth Pfau. Their singularly protected time allowed them to multiply influence, impact, and mastery across years. Conclusion: multiply, don't add. 1 hour a day, dedicated and disciplined, compounds like interest in a high-yield account. Not only does it produce immediate output, but it also reshapes your capabilities, strengthens your character, and accelerates transformation.